Hi everyone, I'm Cliff Elgin and this is Sports Insight. We're here at the brand new big and beautiful Silver Creek Middle School located in Kensington.
Silver Creek is our 40th middle school. The new building is 174,000 square feet in size and it sits on a 13.4 acre lot. Silver Creek Middle School has 4 floors with 45 teaching spaces for students in grades 6 through 8 and it opened in August 2017. Academically, Silver Creek offers the International Baccalaureate Middle Years program for the students, and the school mascot is the Husky.
Now, as you can imagine, there's a lot of detailed work that goes into opening a brand new middle school. One small but very important aspect is the creation of the athletic department. Let's hear what some staff members have to say about that process.
I think for me it started really with identifying a person who was up for the challenge. And I found that person. Our athletic coordinator is Ryan Bingaman.
I was the athletic coordinator at my old school for a bunch of years, so I just went through and took an inventory of everything that I've used the past 7 years that I've done it, and just made a spreadsheet for each sport. This is what I needed, miscellaneous, this is what I need, first aid. So I knew coming in the kids would be excited.
We reached out first to, of course, the teachers in our school. We really wanted to find teachers who were interested in coaching, and whether it was their first time coaching or whether they were experienced.
What we're trying to do is really build that personal level of competition, healthy competition, good lifestyle habits, and really, those parts that really matter, the sportsmanship and the hustle and the heart and those things that are really much more important than the actual time you finish a race in, and that's been really a through line of our program so far.
I didn't want us, myself and my assistant principal, to really make that decision by ourselves. So we reached out to our kids and allowed them to vote. We did a Google survey. And so they voted using the Google survey. And overwhelmingly, the Huskies was the top choice. We actually took a combination of a design that a parent did for us, and then we wanted some tweaks to it. So we gave it to the architects and told them what we wanted, and then they kind of came up with the final mascot that you see today.
We have a beautiful field out here, but since the grass is new, we have to wait until the spring until we get on it.
To allow the fields a time to really grow, mature, and develop. And so we're not using fields this year. For our athletic program or our PE program, we're not using the fields.
I drove around to different parks and tried to find 2 fields because we have a boys and girls team that need practice. And I found Capitol View Park, and it was available, which is only a 5-minute drive up here.
And so again, it's that communicating with the transportation, communicating with parents, and just making sure that even though we don't have a home field to use this year, we're able to actually implement an athletic program. We are able to do our cross-country home, and so that's a plus.
So I just gave a general explanation of athletics, and hey, we need kids to come play. We only have 7th grade, we have no 8th graders. Cross-country was not a problem. We got, I think, at least 20 boys and 20 girls. Softball was a challenge. In fact, I had to go to the cross-country team and try to convince some of the cross-country players, hey, have you ever played baseball or softball? And we got a couple to switch over.
We can be the first ever to be a cross-country team at Silver Creek. I think that, it's an honor.
They've been making signs for the hallways, they wear their jerseys. I mean, the school spirit that they're bringing has been really amazing, and it's been a wonderful thing to be able to kind of just nudge and go and guide.
Well, this is a really important part because we're the first class to ever walk these halls. So we want to win.
It's really cool. We want to win, and this is the first home game we've ever had, and it's really important to us to win.
We want to win this.
Let's go Huskies!
Yeah!
And I think it's important for us to offer that opportunity for them because whether it's athletics, music, drama, whatever those extracurricular pieces are that students really begin to develop their interest in right around this time in middle school, it's important for us to offer that.
To have the support from the high school that our kids will matriculate to have the support of the parents and the community. I mean, everyone's just been really, the administration, the parents, the students, it's been incredible. It's really a blessing to be able to do this and to be able to be out here with these guys every day.
So with us today, we have Ryan Bigeman, the physical education teacher and athletic coordinator here at Silver Creek Middle School. Welcome, Ryan. And with us also is Miss Maya Ray, a 7th grader here at Silver Creek and a member of the girls softball team. So Maya, welcome.
Hi.
All right, so I want to start with you, Maya. All right, we've got this beautiful building that we're in. We're sitting here in the media center. You're coming in, you come from North Chevy Chase. Excited to be a Husky at Silver Creek?
Yeah.
What's the best part so far?
The best part so far is meeting new friends and new teachers.
Now, we learned before we started taping today that you've joined the softball team. You've never played softball before. How's the experience gone so far?
So far, it's really fun because they teach you like how to play and they teach you how to work with a team on a new sport.
And Ryan, let's talk about Maya joining a team that's in a sport she never played before. How essential is that to get Silver Creek up and running and get that spirit in this new building?
Without her, we wouldn't have a team this year. We had cross country, we had 20, 30 kids, one in tryout. Softball, it was like 8 or 9. And we had to talk with some of the cross country kids, and some of them were interested. They're kind of thinking both ways, and we kind of convinced some of them to switch over to softball. And we have a couple of brand new players who joined. So without people like Maya, then we wouldn't have had softball teams.
And now that we're a couple months in the school year, Ryan, how would you say this is going at Silver Creek and building that enthusiasm for this new building? I mean, I did it 12 years ago at Clarksburg, and it's not always an easy thing.
Yeah.
How would you say 2 months in?
We're rolling now. I mean, softball and cross country just ended yesterday. So now I'm looking forward to basketball. We just got our coaches in place. All the equipment is now here, which took some time to get. And now I'm looking for soccer coaches in the spring. So just kind of going season by season.
And let's talk about the equipment, because I know what it's like when a building's built and you've got boxes everywhere. Yeah. Any good funny stories about just getting everything into place?
It started last spring. We settled on a budget, and I got everything I needed and most of the things that I wanted. And then over the summertime, they couldn't send it here, so it went to the warehouse. So when we came back to school, it was just boxes. I mean, we just had, the whole boys' locker room was full of boxes. These kids have no idea what it looked like. And most of it was PE equipment, but also some of the athletics was mixed in. So it was just a process of going through, and this is PE, this is athletics, this is for intramurals.
How long did that take?
It took a while. So we were here well after hours putting time in, but we knew it. We knew that coming in, starting a new school, you're going to have to put in all that extra time.
Well, I like when you talk about the box everywhere, the look on Maya's face, I could just see it out of the corner of my eye. Her eyes just went like this. Yeah. Now, you're also running, you mentioned intramurals, you mentioned athletics department, and they're 2 separate programs. So just kind of explain the difference between the 2 programs here at the middle schools throughout MCPS.
Yeah, so athletics, there's paperwork involved, you have to get permission, there's tryouts, there's hired coaches, it's more organized, and you play against other teams. Whereas intramurals, most intramurals, you can just basically show up and play. There's no fees, there's no paperwork, unless it's like an organized, like I do a 3-on-3 league where they have to have teams and show up on like a schedule. But most of the time, it's just they can show up and play. And the athletics is for 7th and 8th grade. Intramurals is for all 3.
All right, so Maya, let me touch the intramurals piece first before I get back to the athletics piece. Any intramurals that you've seen that maybe, hey, I'd like to try that. I don't necessarily want to be on the athletics piece of it, but maybe I just want to try intramurals to play against some of my other classmates.
Tennis, because we have tennis courts. They said that they'd have that later on.
All right, so Silver Creek New School, no 8th graders. So you were at a little disadvantage for softball. Was that tough, knowing you only had the 7th graders going out against these schools that had these big bad 8th graders everywhere?
Like the first time that we saw the 8th graders, they were just like so much taller than us. And at my other school, I was like one of the tallest people. And coming to this school and not being the tallest person is already intimidating. And then I have people who are twice the size of me. So it was pretty scary. And then when we played, they played similar to us, but they knew what they were doing. So
it's an advantage when you know what you're doing.
Yeah. But we had the advantage also because we were younger and cuter. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that is important. All right. So I know we talked a little bit. It was a tough year for the softball team. We didn't win a game. I can commiserate. My first year at Clarksville, we were open. We didn't have any seniors. I was the coach. We went 0-21. All I can tell you is it will get better. I promise. Next year will be much, much better as far as wins and losses. So stick with it. Ryan, you're only 2 months in, and you kind of touched on what you got to do. You got basketball, and then do we have soccer in the spring?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And do you see support, excitement building, at least for the upcoming basketball season with the kids?
Oh yeah, they're all asking because we just figured out our coach this week, so all the boys are constantly asking, "Who's the coach? Who's the coach?" And I started the intramurals. I started doing basketball the last couple weeks, so they're all coming in, asking about coaches.
Any challenges with the facilities as far as the outside part? I know the inside's beautiful. I went down and looked in the gym. I always look at a gym when I walk into a new school. As far as outside, I think you had to go rent out space for at least for softball this spring,
Yeah.
I mean this fall,
Yeah.
correct?
So basketball, we're all set. Scoreboard works. Bleachers are good. So we're inside, like you said, is fine. Softball field is beautiful, but we can't use it. We're hoping next fall. So this past summer, I had to go on the maps and try to find some fields. I drove around. I rode my bike around. I live close to here. So eventually I found Capitol View Park, which is right by Oakland Terrace. It's like a 10-minute drive. 2 beautiful fields. So we chose to use that. But then we had to get an after-school bus here on time for practice to take the kids to the field and then make sure parents are able to come pick them up and take them home. And it's been a process because we've never had to do something like that.
So you become a logistics
Yeah.
expert
Yes.
with this job
Yes.
as well.
On top of trying to get players to play and and putting equipment together and finding coaches and.
Well, and that's something important because not all the MCPS schools have everything on site. Even a lot of the high schools have got to practice
Right.
off site. So
Right.
Maya, how many practices a week are we talking about? Every day, a couple of times a
We
week?
practiced from Tuesday to Thursday, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
What are you looking forward to most next softball season? Because you know you don't have a choice. You're going to have to play again next fall.
Next softball season, I'm looking forward to more players, and I'm looking forward to teaching like the 7th graders how this works, like the newer ones, like how they didn't know how to play before like me.
I love that answer.
Good answer.
And what are you
Pass it
looking
forward
forward
right
to, not only this year, but even next year when you get a full complement of middle schoolers?
Same thing she just said, handing it down, like you said, but just being more established and all the equipment's here. We know the process. I'm just hoping our fields are ready because soccer is another. We don't know if we're going to have the soccer field this spring, so the same thing might happen again. So I'm looking forward to having just everything is here, ready. We can roll right from the beginning and having 8th graders.
And I think that's a great place for us to end our discussion today. Ryan, I want to thank you for joining us and giving us a little insight on Silver Creek. And Maya, thank you for being our expert today about middle school athletics and opening a brand new, like I said, just beautiful building here.
Thank you.
And I think that's a great place for us to end this discussion of middle school athletics and starting it here at a new middle school. I'm Cliff Elgin, and we'll see you on the next Sports Insight.